Hey everyone. All right, today we are going to talk about assets and liabilities. Your objective: I will be able to create and organize a financial assets and liabilities record and construct a net worth statement. So let's talk about what assets and liabilities means. An asset is something that you own. So that could be something like cash, whatever money is in your bank account, and anything that you have paid off, such as a house or a car, because once you pay it off in full, that means that you own it. A liability is something that you owe. So keep in mind, assets are owned, liabilities are owed. So let's say you borrow $10 from a friend, then it is your liability to pay them back. So you owe them that $10. Examples of liabilities would be loans, such as taking out a mortgage on a house, taking out a loan for a car, or maybe taking out student loans for college. If you owe anything on a credit card and you have a credit card balance, that is a liability because you have to pay it back. So whenever we find net worth, that's the difference between what we own and what we owe, so the difference between assets and liabilities. So to actually calculate net worth, we are going to take the assets minus the liabilities. So whenever we find net worth, the first thing that we'll do is identify the assets and liabilities. Then we're going to add the assets together. That's going to be the total owned. Then we'll add the liabilities together. That will be the total that is owed. And then we're just going to take the assets and subtract the liabilities. So, for example, let's say that you have $20. That's what you own. That would be an asset. And then you owe a friend $5. Your net worth would be $15 because you're going to have to pay back that $5 and you would be left with $15. So let's go ahead and do some examples together. Example 1, the table shows some of Max's assets and liabilities. So let's look at this table so that we can identify Max's net worth. So first we have cash and savings. So in his account it looks like he has $376. He owns whatever money he has, so that would be an asset. So I'm going to label that with an A. Credit card debt, $1,295. Debt means something is owed, so this is a liability. Furniture that Max owns is worth $207. He owns it. It is an asset. A student loan, $1,800. He owes this money. It is a liability. A car that is paid off, $1,500. He owns the car since he paid it off, so that is an asset. And then clothes are worth $875. He owns his clothes, so that would be an asset. So now we've identified which is which. So I am going to add everything up over here. So we've got assets and liabilities. So his cash is worth $376. The furniture he owns is worth $207. His paid off car is $1,500. And his clothes are worth $875. All right, I want you to go ahead, pause the video, and take a moment to add all of this up. Okay, so whenever you added everything together, you should get $2,958. So that's the total amount that he owns. That's what everything he owns is worth. Now for liabilities, he has $1,295 in credit card debt, and he owes $1,800 on his student loan. So again, go ahead and pause and add that together. And when you add that together, you should get $3,095. Now, to actually calculate the net worth, we want to take the assets minus the liabilities. So that would be $2,958 minus $3,095. Now, before we do any subtraction, go ahead and notice that the amount that he owes is greater than what he actually owns. So that means he's going to have a negative net worth. So we have a positive number and we're trying to take away a number that's even bigger. So we know that our answer is going to be negative. When this happens, we're going to do normal subtraction and we'll just make the answer negative. So we're going to take 3,095, subtract 2,958, and since the liability is greater, we know he's going to have a negative net worth. So then 5 minus 8, we've got to borrow. We get 7 here. 8 minus 5 is 3. Got to borrow again. 10 minus 9 is 1. So Max's net worth would be a negative $137. All right, example 2. The table shows the Olson family's assets and liabilities. So again, let's identify the assets and liabilities. So in checking and savings, they have $5,000. They own that. It's an asset. Home equity. Home equity means how much their home is worth. So it is worth $15,000. So that means as of now, what they own on their home is worth $15,000. So that is an asset. Now they have some credit card debt. Credit card debt is a liability. And then a car loan that they still owe. So that's a liability. So let's find the total assets and we'll find the total liabilities. So they have $5,000 in the bank. Their house is worth $15,000. So altogether they own $20,000. Now for liabilities, they owe $3,400 on their credit card. And they owe $15,900 on their car. So we're just going to add all of that together. So they owe $19,300. Now again, for net worth, we are going to take the assets, so $20,000, subtract the liabilities, $19,300. As you can see, the assets are greater, so they are going to have a positive net worth. So we get to just do normal subtraction. 20,000 minus 19,300. Go ahead and pause the video and take a moment to subtract that out on your own. All right, and when you have that calculated, you should get 700. So the Olson's net worth is a positive $700. All right, now it is time for you to try. Make sure that you answer the question on Educanon. And again, if you're watching this on a phone, make sure that you exit full screen to answer the question, and then you can complete your video. Bring your notes with you to class next class day, and have a good day.